Okay.
Does it say recording?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Can you please introduce yourself?
My name's Thayna Marcelino. I've been a Zumba instructor for 4.5 years. I think, yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's great. And let's see. How long have you been? You said 4 years?
4 years.
4 years.
4.5.
Yeah. And what brings you to this field in the first place?
I danced my whole life. I had like scholarships to dance schools and stuff. But when I went to college, it was just too expensive and it was too hard to do it. So I stopped and I put on a lot of weight. And then one day my mom invited me to a free class. And so I went and I thought it was fun and I thought it was a good way to lose weight. And I was like, I could probably do this. So I took classes for about 6 months and then I got licensed.
Oh, very good. And you said who invited you to a class?
My mom.
Your mom. Okay, that's great. And your mom is an instructor too, or
No, she was just taking. She likes to try new things. So she's a big part of the Brazilian community here locally, and it was a Brazilian lady, Raquel, who was teaching the class, and so she got in touch with a friend and just spread the word that there were these Zumba classes led by a Brazilian, and so
teacher or instructor.
yeah,
That's good. That's good. So your mom also was interested in dancing or in physical fitness, or
she just likes to do whatever. She just likes to be in the mix.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she's basically trying new things.
Yeah, she likes to try new things. She likes to just whatever's the latest, she'll do it.
Okay. And so you said that the college, you found that it's hard to be in college. This is right?
Well, when you're in college, you're financially really, it's financially tight, and it's hard for you to be able to do the things that you enjoy, right? So I literally just went because it was free. I wouldn't have gone otherwise because I was broke, and I couldn't, I really loved to dance, and when I was in college, I couldn't do it because I just couldn't afford it.
And what were you studying if you were in college?
I was studying advertising at Academy of Art.
Good, that's great.
Yeah.
So the main reason was the financial.
The main reason I didn't dance was financial, yes.
Or the main reason that you didn't continue college was...
Oh, I didn't continue college because I decided I didn't like I didn't want to actually do what I was studying. So I was like, I'll just take a break, and then I never went back. Because I started my business and stuff. Yeah,
so you felt like studying is not my thing.
No, just I didn't want to. I was going into my senior year, and I was like, I don't really want to work in this. I don't want to work in advertising. So why am I going to finish? It's another like $30,000 to $40,000 for something that I don't really want to do.
Right. That's absolutely, justifiable. Yeah. So didn't you think of going to a business school, for instance?
No. It's not that I don't think school's a good thing. It's just I think there's some things that you don't actually, like business, for example. A lot of stuff for business you really learn out in the real world. And I'd been working since I was really young. And I actually started a business with my uncle. Oh, really? So, yeah, it wasn't something I needed, shall we say. I didn't feel I needed to go to business school to start a business.
Oh, that's good. What kind of business did you start with your uncle?
He had a dealership that he closed, and then we started an investment company for loans, car loans.
Oh, okay. So in the financial or the investment field. Right?
We still did a lot. He would actually sell the cars and finance the loans. So it was almost like running a dealer, but we didn't have a dealer anymore.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? So we would, what's it called? We would,
apply for a loan?
No, they would sell the cars at, I forget the term, but they would sell the cars at different lots. Like we'd take like 10 cars to a lot, and the lot would sell it.
Is it like an auction?
No, a dealership. So regular. This was during when everybody had no money, right?
Okay.
So I'm like,
Depression time?
yes.
Oh, okay.
So dealerships had no money because people weren't paying their loans.
Right.
And the banks had no money. And the way that dealerships work most of the time is that they sell cars and then they take the loans and they sell it to the banks.
Right.
But the banks weren't buying the loans because the banks had no money.
Right.
And they had like investment companies that specifically worked with used car dealerships. A lot of them went bankrupt.
Right.
Like 3 of the ones that we worked with when we had a dealership went bankrupt because people weren't paying because nobody had any money.
Right. Yeah.
So at this time, dealerships, they didn't have money. They didn't have money to buy cars. And so they had like lots that were practically empty. So we would bring the cars and they would sell them, I forget the term, on consignment. They'd sell them on consignment. Yeah, we'd pay them a fee or a percentage or whatever he worked out with the people.
Okay.
We'd take the loans and we'd hold the loans.
Oh, okay.
So if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes. Are we talking about which year here?
This was 09. We started it, I believe, in 2010.
Yeah. Okay. So it's after the Depression, 2007.
Yes, but
Okay.
there was still no money.
Oh,
People
yeah,
still
of
had no
course.
money.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And then after that, you started your own business after.
And then I was working for him. I started teaching Zumba classes. I was really successful at it. And I didn't want to work for him anymore because it was a lot of work. And I kept trying to go no, you have somebody else do this extra stuff because I don't want to do it. I have something else that I like a lot better where I'm making decent money. Like, why would I want to keep doing this that I don't even like very much,
Correct.
So, but he didn't know how to let go. So eventually I had to just let go, bye.
Oh.
I had to just quit.
Okay.
And start my own thing.
Yeah, that's good. And how did you start your own business?
I was teaching drop-in classes, so it was kind of a fluke. I got licensed in May, and then in July I started teaching at Curves, and then within 2 months I had a bunch of classes. I had 10 classes a week, and they were all at different locations. And then the friend that had originally invited me to the free Zumba class, or that my mom had been in contact with, who invited us to the free Zumba class, she had a call from Bally's. It wasn't Bally's, it was the owner of the building where Bally's used to be. Bally's went out of business. And they're like, we want to keep our fitness license open because they wanted to possibly put a gym. This company owns a bunch of different companies, and one of the companies that they own is a gym. So they were possibly going to put a gym into the building. They didn't know yet. They didn't know which path they wanted to take. So they're like, we want to keep our fitness license open. We have to show the city that we're doing something here. So we're going to let you guys just use the space. You guys use the space. We'll put up a sign, and yeah, just you can take all the money.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're not paying basically anything?
No.
Oh, okay. How lucky.
Yeah. I mean, the other places I was working at, I was paying, but this place was just here's a big space, use it, right?
Yeah.
So we did, and I was very, very successful. From day one, 3 weeks into it, the classes were packed.
Yeah.
So I started adding more classes there.
Yeah.
And then because they would only let me teach twice a week there because they didn't really want anything there, right? They were just doing it to keep the fitness license open.
Yeah.
So then I would advertise my classes at the other locations. So then all of them got full. And then eventually, 6 months later, they decided to tear down the building. They decided not to put the gym there. So they were going to tear down the building. So I was like, okay, I'll find other big places to move these classes so that I don't, I was doing well, and why not, right? So at first I was looking for a space where we are now, just to have all week long, have it open. And then it was really hard to find one, especially one that would work with, I was only 25.
Oh.
So it's hard for me, and I didn't have anything, I had a lot of student loans.
And that place you had for free, where was it?
It was the former Bally's in Pleasant Hill.
In Pleasant Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's a
Yeah, but
good
that was like
location.
a fluke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
So then I ended up, and I was working really closely with, her name was Roberta. I was working really closely with Roberta at this time because I was very grateful, you know, because if she hadn't, like, they didn't call me. She called me because she was like, this sounds too good to be true. Can you go with me in case, you know, in case something happens? And I just went because I was like, why not, you know?
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
So I was very grateful for that, that she even called me, you know what I mean?
How long did you stay there?
We were there from end of January through July. So a good,
Oh.
it was enough time for me to see the potential,
Right.
right?
Right.
And for me to see that not only, because I would advertise the classes that I taught at other places and people would go to those too. So I was like, okay, they'll follow too. You know what I mean? As long as I have a space
Right.
that works.
Yeah.
So, but at this time, I found a big space. And it was a really nice one. And originally, I wanted the space down the street because it was 3,000 square feet. I was like, this is perfect. This is just enough space. I could teach, we could teach 3, 4, or 5 classes a day, right? It's just enough space, so I'm not paying extra rent or anything like that.
Right.
But the realtor for the space, they, for whatever reason, didn't want us there. He was like, no, I have this other big place that's empty. Why don't you go check it out? And it was huge. It was 6,500 square feet. It was on the corner of Concord and Commerce, like right off the freeway, like all windows and stuff. But it was hideous. It was just an empty warehouse, and like the concrete was all torn up because the floor store had been there. So they put, you know, all the sample flooring in. It was ugly building. And when I went to check with the city, the licenses wasn't good for there. I'd have to pay an extra $1,000 to see if they'd give me a license to teach there, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that right now, because they told me, this was in August. They're like, in October, the license might change, the zoning might change for that area of Concord. So I was like, I'll just wait till October, right? So, so then I found other places for us to teach, which was okay. It was okay. The only problem is sometimes when you're renting space from people, they don't treat you very well for whatever reason. Like, there was one place in particular that there was no reason. The lady was just not nice. And I paid really good rent. I paid good amounts for everywhere that I worked at.
What's the range that you consider good money for?
I was paying $70 for this space in particular for an hour.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I was paying good rent. There was no reason for her to be rude.
It's per hour, not per month.
It depends.
Yeah, it can be per month.
I was just renting for the hour so that I would not have to have my own space.
Oh.
Because for the month, then I'd have to, you know what I mean? I'd be paying up front for the space for the whole month.
It's very good thinking. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I already knew that I wanted to switch to the big space in October anyways, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just wait. But anyways, in October, I called the realtor back because the licenses were all good and stuff. I was like, okay, let's do it. And it took like 2.5 months. But finally, we got something together. It was just month to month. They were just like testing us to see if we could eventually move to the space I originally wanted, right? So we did it. It was very successful. We put in floors, but just like the laminate floor, so we could move them with us, because we knew that, you know, we might have to move.
Yes.
That was always like
A
possibility.
Yeah.
And then we were there for almost a year, and then we moved to the second space, which is the one I really wanted. And it was a disaster.
Yeah, that's the story.
It was a disaster.
Yeah, that's a story by itself. Yeah.
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 So, and now we're here.
Yeah, I wanna have the whole story for that place specifically, because
That was
it's really
we have to be careful with that one, because
yeah.
I'm sure the neighbor will find out. So I have to talk to you about
Yeah,
because she's crazy.
I know.
Like
I know. I heard from.
and she'll sue you. Like it's not even just me. Let's protect everybody involved. She'll sue Berkeley if she finds out you work for them. Like she's nuts.
Oh, okay. We can actually talk about it in a way, but it wouldn't like affect anybody.
Yeah.
So it's but
We have to be very discreet with that one.
I'll keep it for now. I will continue with the basic subject here. Okay. Let's see. So that's what you did before getting into the Zumba business.
Yeah, I did lots of things, but that's
Yeah.
right before. That's what I did.
Yeah. Okay. So, so right now, do you find Zumba for you is rewarding financially and emotionally? And how do you find Zumba right now?
Right now, emotionally, it's very rewarding. Financially, it's not as rewarding as it could have been had. Well, you never know what's going to come, but there were a lot of pitfalls that we ended up falling into that had I known, I would have done things differently, and then it would be much more rewarding. Like I could have probably negotiated for the first place that we were at. I could have probably negotiated a longer term lease there, and I think it would have been more successful. Not that this place isn't successful, but it would have been more successful for me to build there, because what happened is there were a lot of changes that needed to happen just because of the way things went. Like I got pregnant twice, and Athena, no. Okay. So, for example, bringing on other instructors and stuff, that was something that could have been smoother, but we just had to do it the way we did it. Like, there was no choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you had the shorter term lease there?
At the second location, I had 3 years.
3 years.
But we terminated it.
Yeah, because of that.
Because of everything.
Oh.
It was mine. It's in my purse.
Yeah.
But there were just a lot of things that could have been dealt with differently, but lack of experience and
yeah, you're learning.
Yeah.
Right. So did you have your long-term lease here?
Here we're here for 5.
So
as long as things
it's insured for you. So how do you deal with your instructors? How do you pick up your instructors?
Most of them are referred to me. I do check them first.
Right.
Right.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
And I'm very picky.
You should be.
Yeah.
You're dealing with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're making like a background check, like, or kind of asking about the old places you work in?
No, I don't do that stuff because a lot of them do drop in already, or they teach at the gyms. If they teach at the gyms, they already got a background check at the gyms. Plus, the background check doesn't really tell me who you are as a person.
Okay, so how do you were saying that
I'm picky with them as instructors.
How is that?
Like, they have to be good instructors. And then with time, I find out who you really are, and do I like you as a person? Do I like what you're bringing to the table? Do I like what you do, right? Because maybe, like, in one situation, I found out that the person was sleeping with married women, and I don't like that, right?
So
with time, I figured that out. So I'm like, oh no, you don't belong here.
Oh,
right?
Okay. So it's a kind of social.
Yes, there's a lot of social stuff tied to it too.
Mm-hmm. But when you
there was another one where I found out that how do I?
when you at first decide to hire this instructor, do you go to other?
I ask.
To see that person?
No, most of the time they're referred to me by other instructors. So then I already have a little bit of a barricade, right? I already kind of know. And then they have to be a good instructor, because there's a lot of places that just hire anybody just because it's Zumba. They're like, oh, you have a Zumba license, here you go. I don't do that, because just because you have a Zumba, it's very easy to get a Zumba license, right? Yeah, basically. Like, so that's not good enough. Like, I'm gonna check into your background a little bit. Did you dance? Where do you come from? Do you have a fitness license? You know what I mean? So then I check all that stuff too. So yeah, in a way, I do a little bit of a background check there. And then I try to find out what kind of personality you have by asking other people who have worked with you. So yeah, I basically do all the things that...
And then when you start the hiring process, do you try this person for like 1 class, 2 class, or you just hire the whole thing?
A lot of times we have them sub a couple times to see.
Okay.
To see if...
That's a good policy. Yeah, that's perfect. So you're running a business, and it's a successful business.
Oh no. She put your cards in.
How about your students? How do you build up your classes? How?
Most of them are built by word of mouth. This place is a more challenging. It used to just be my sister and I. So it was really... Amor.
That's the thing.
Athena, no.
That's very
Athena, no. So it used to be very easy because since it was just the two of us, it was like an easy sell. Like, do you like me? Do you like my sister? Then come, because we have all these classes.
Okay.
So this place is a lot harder because we have so many instructors. So that it's not just do you like me and my sister, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what style do you like? Do you like dancing? Do you like fit? You know what I mean? There's so many different options, and then it still has to fit into their schedule. EJ, can you please go get Emily? Can you please go get Emily? And it has to be like, this schedule works for me, and I like their style. So it's a little bit harder here.
Yeah.
So here we have to be more specific and really do like the little videos and all that stuff, so people like see like, oh, I might like this instructor, or I might like that instructor. And we really have to push like other instructors. Like, I have to say, like, if you like, you come to me because you like that I dance a lot, well, this instructor dances a lot too, go check them out, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's nice. And you with the instructors, do you have a contract, or you hire them as an employee for your studio?
No, it's independent contractors.
Yeah, so, okay, that's good. And what kind of problems did you face with your instructors?
Not many. I've caught like instructors who I've caught them lying about like, oh, I'm sick, and they're not really sick, like that kind of stuff, which hurts me, because a lot of the times when the students are coming, they're coming because por favor, cuida dela. Eu sei, leva, por favor. So they'll come for that instructor, and then if the instructor doesn't show up, I will lose a client, right? Because then they're like, oh, they don't go there anyways, they don't actually teach their class. So then I end up losing the client.
Yeah, that's right.
And since a lot of times I don't pay based on like scale, like it's not based on how many people you bring in, it ends up hurting me. It ends up hurting my business. So that's a big problem, right? So then I have to figure out, how do I tell the instructor, hey, stop lying. So yes, there have been some issues.
So you've got to deal with each one of them, and each
individually,
one of them
and everybody has their own personality, you know.
Yeah.
I've never had employees. I've never had people working under me, so it's a little bit. This is a new experience for me.
Yeah. So you need to be like very diplomatic when you
Yes.
to them,
But not just
you need
diplomatic.
at the same time. Yeah.
It's not just that. It's also like I have to And then other times, for example, like an instructor, its classes won't be as successful as other people's classes. And then they feel bad about themselves. And they're like, oh, I want to quit because I'm not good enough. And it's like, no, that's not what it is. Like, I have to figure out what it is, right?
Yeah.
And then I have to say it in a way to explain to them, like, this is really what's going on with your class.
Oh.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you feel bad, you're going to be unhappy up there, and I don't want you unhappy up there, because if you're unhappy up there, the clients are going to be unhappy.
Right. You need to motivate them all the time.
Yes.
Encourage them. And,
Yes. So I really have to keep track of, like, what's going on.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, for example, we had a class that only had 7 people in it, and it's because the traffic was a disaster right before her class.
Oh.
The only way I knew was because I was coming back from DMV, and it took me over half an hour.
Oh.
Normally it takes me like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I knew that that's what it was. But then, like, it was, for in that situation, it was kind of too late. And thankfully, like, she was okay with it. But a lot of times this instructor comes in, you know, she's actually said to me, she's like, well, the parking lot was empty, so I guess there's not going to be anybody in my class, right?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. And it's like, I don't want you walking in there with that attitude.
Yeah.
Because then the people that are here are going to be unhappy. And the fact is, you never know. Like, sometimes people come late, and that's what happened that day. She ended up having a really good sized class.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
if she walks in, like, feeling
Yeah.
down about herself, then the people who are here aren't going to want to come back next time because they can tell she doesn't want to be here. You know what I mean?
Right. It reflects on
Yes.
any students in the class.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's really hard to manage all of these at the same time. Whenever you feel that you don't want to talk anymore, just tell me and
Okay.
we can continue another day.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know that your time is
Yeah.
so busy all the time. Actually, I also may try to come to one of your classes, and after the class I can speak to you.
Okay.
It's just that if you see my schedule, you would be surprised
Yeah.
how I can manage doing all these things at the same time. Yeah, so weekdays is really very packed
for you.
me. Yeah, so that's why I'd rather have on Saturdays.
That's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll do one more.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me choose one more. How would you see yourself in 5 years from now?
We want to own the building in 5 years.
You want to own this?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's great. And how do you plan to do this? Are you gonna buy it, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna buy it.
We want to buy it.
So you've already talked to somebody about it, or what is it exactly?
I'm in the process of, because these things take a long time.
I know.
But
I mean, yeah.
yeah, no, I'm already getting together like because it has to be an SBA loan and stuff. So you have to start putting together a very good business plan, and you have to get all your information together. And this is our first year here, but I need next year to be more successful. So this year is really, and this place is different from all the other places I've done. I think because we have so many instructors and stuff, there's a lot of stuff that I do here that I've never had to do before. Like I've never posted on Facebook my classes. I didn't do that. People just showed up because they knew who I was and they knew that they liked me, right? I never had to do any of this stuff. So there's a lot of extra advertising and stuff that I've had to do here. But it's okay. And then another thing is like the ups and downs that I'm accustomed to are totally different here because I think our demographic here is really, really different. So I'm trying to bring back the people, like I used to work with a lot of Latin people, and their finances are different than the customers that we have right now.
Right.
So, for example, in April used to be a great month for me. I had no issues in April. This year, April was a slow month for me because we have a little slightly higher demographic now. Oh. Like they make a little bit more money. So in April, they had to pay taxes, right?
Oh, yeah.
So then they didn't come, which I've never had a problem with. So this place in particular has had a little bit of of a learning curve for me. And then on top of it, so then because I don't know why, but we did end up losing a lot of our Latin people when we came to this place in particular, compared to all the other spaces I've taught. So I had to figure out why. And I figured out this place is a little too nice. It's a little too nice. We're a little, not that we're too professional, but like our flyer's a little too nice. You know what I mean? It just looks a little too fancy. The paper's a little too nice. Like just stupid things like that you don't really think of. But all those things turned away what used to be my core clientele. So I want to bring them back because they stabilize things for me. Right?
Yeah.
So that's going on right now.
That you put extra money in like paper quality, like things.
Yeah, I mean, our flyer used to be a quarter of a sheet. Like we used to just like we used to spend like a penny per flyer. You know what I mean? Now I'm spending like 7 cents. It makes a big difference.
It makes,
yeah. But it turns away some people, and you don't think about these things. You don't think about like, because my paper is 7 cents, my flyer is 7 cents now instead of 1 cent. Like I'll lose the people who are accustomed to the 1 cent paper, who feel comfortable going to a place that only spends a penny, compared to a place that spends 7 cents, right?
Right. So why don't you come up with an equation for?
I have.
Yeah.
We're yes.
Students.
No, we have, but it took us a long time to even figure that out. Like, we're losing. Where are my Latin people? And then why are they gone? So, trends. Here, I've had to actually think a lot more than before.
Well, that's good because you're learning, and this is how business is. Actually, any successful business is like this.
Yeah.
So, that's really nice.
So now we have separate flyers. Like, we went back to the old way, which to me it looks ugly, and to me it's like, I can't. Like when I used to use like it was like a Starburst and it was $5 and stuff. Like when I used to use that stuff, I'm like, I can't wait till I have a nicer looking flyer because it looks more professional. But then I realized, like, oh no, that's what these people are accustomed to. This, I learned this in advertising, so it was really good that I went to school for advertising. It helped me a lot in this.
Yeah.
But you have to speak to your clients in a way that they understand, that will capture their attention. And that's what I realized, like, that $5 Starburst was really good to get those people because they saw, $5, I can afford that. They didn't see a fancy flyer and think, like, I can't afford it, even though it's still $5.
Yeah.
They just saw the flyer, they're like, I'm not even gonna look at it, it looks too nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense, yeah. This is really great that you have advertising and then you switch.
It's helped me a lot.
Yeah,
it really has.
It's really nice. Okay, one quick question. What question you want me to ask you to answer me?
I don't know.
No, you have your own business. You're a businesswoman. You can take advantage of this so that it could be included online or in a book about
what would be
your
a good
business.
question?
What kind of question? If you don't have anything in mind, it doesn't matter. Next time I can ask you about it. But if you have anything right now,
I don't have anything in mind right now.
Yeah, because
I'll think about it.
Yeah, it's a chance.
I'm a thinker, Sophie. I have to think about things.
I know.
You have no idea. All day long, I'm like driving and I'm like, okay, like this whole Latin thing. I'm like, what? It took me a long time to like process, like. And then it takes you some time to accept it too, because you're like, it can't possibly be something that's stupid, but it is.
Well, for me, there's nothing called stupid. Every single
something that's simple. Something that's simple.
It is really important, but sometimes it comes in a second. You don't even think about it. It just comes.
Yes, it just comes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is the thing that I wanted to say. You see, so it will come to you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it doesn't matter if it's now or later on. But
Sophie, I have something to share with you, which was very exciting. This week we the Zumba home office decided to start following our stuff, which was so exciting for me. Like to have like a little bit, not like recognition, but the fact that they even like, to me, because when I put it online, I was like, oh guys, guess what? Like they're following us. Like, isn't this crazy? They're like, no, like we expect it because you guys have been working so hard and you've done this for so long and you're obviously good at what you do. But to me, it was like, what do they care about some little studio in Concord, California? You know, Concord's it's not San Francisco. We're not like, to me, it's not a big thing, but to other people it is, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is awesome. What was it again? Let me write
That Zumba home office started following our Instagram.
Yeah. This is nice. Let me take a note of this.
I think that's the thing to me. The whole thing, really from the beginning, it's almost been a series of accidents that I've taken advantage of. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, this came to me. Like, how do I use it, right? So to me, it's amazing that it even got this far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've just been living.
It's kind of a wave, and you're just holding to that wave to see.
Where it goes.
Go. Yeah.
Because I do have fun with it.
Yeah, and that's very important in business, to have fun and to feel relaxed from the inside of you about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice to enjoy something and do it at the same time. Yeah, although it's not for everybody to do this.
No.
Yeah.
I
Some
know.
people, they can't simply do it like
I couldn't, if honestly, there was, okay, on top of everything else, I also broke up with my ex because I was with him for about 8 years. I couldn't do this if I'd been with him.
Yeah. Right.
I had to be with the guy I'm with now to do this because he supported me so much. He was like, don't worry about it. You know, people came, but you know, like less people came. Don't worry about it. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Like, what else are you going to do? Just keep going.
Just keep going.
So he really helped me like change my attitude towards the business.
Yeah. It's really hard to be in conflict in your private life or personal life and your business. You've got to have one of them.
It's not that my ex wouldn't want me to do it. It's just he didn't say the right words.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I didn't have the confidence to do it. I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it is there. Yeah. Can you give it to me again?
Oh, that Zumba home office
Okay.
started following us on Instagram.
Okay. Anything else, you just email it to me.
Okay.
And I can